Dear students and friends, in the first part of this lesson, we have come to know the important positions of Della and Jim and how Della had planned to get a gift to Jim on the eve of Christmas and how she sacrificed her important position only to buy a gift to Jim. Okay, now we will continue the second part of this lesson, that is the gift of Magi. Within 40 minutes, her head was covered with tiny close-lying curls that made her look wonderfully like a truant schoolboy. She looked at her reflection in the mirror long, carefully and critically. So here we all know that after her haircut, she wanted to make herself look beautiful. That's why she tried to curl her hair. So she went on curling her hair. So within 40 minutes, her head was covered with tiny close-lying curls. So there were curls in her hair because it had already become very short. She made it look beautiful. She looked wonderfully like a truant schoolboy. Truant is someone who shirks his duty or work. Means here you can see that she looked something different and she looked at her reflection in the mirror long, carefully and critically. She went on observing herself. So she looked herself for longer hours or time because she wanted to know whether her appearance has changed or whether it will disturb Jim or whether she is looking beautiful or not. So many questions were there in the mind of Della. If Jim doesn't kill me, she said to herself, before he takes a second look at me, he will say, I look like a Coney Island chorus girl. But what could I do? Oh, what could I do with $1.87? So now, as I told you, so many questions were there in her mind, especially regarding her appearance and what will be the reaction of Jim by seeing her. So what she felt is, if Jim doesn't kill me, means will he be very angry or will he show his anger on me in different ways? So that was one question. The other one is what she was telling everything to herself. Before he takes a second look at me, he will say. So next again for another look, means first time when he sees, he may kill me. Kill me is showing his reaction in different ways. Once again when he sees, that is the other look. In that he may tell or he may comment that you are looking like a Coney Island chorus girl. So Coney Island, a famous entertainment place on Long Island in New York. So in that place there is the chorus girl, that is a girl who dances or sings in a musical comedy. Means you have band of music where people dance, sing or there will be different instruments played. So he may compare me to a chorus girl in that Coney Island. So much of confusions. But what could I do? Oh, what could I do with the $1.87? What shall I do? And there was no other way. What could I do? I had only $1.87. I was very much in need of money because I wanted to buy a gift to my Jim. So that is the way she was going on reacting within herself. So many questions, so many confusions after she had the haircut because she didn't know what will be the reaction of Jim once he comes home. At 7 o'clock, the coffee was made and the frying pan was on the back of the stove, hot and ready to cook the chops. So she was getting ready tiffin and coffee to Jim because that is the time he comes home. So there was coffee which was being done, and she had also kept the frying pan ready hot to fry the chops or cook the chops, which is for him when he comes home. Jim was never late, so used to be on time. Della doubled the fob chain in her hand and sat on the corner of the table near the door that he always entered. Then she heard his step on the stair away down on the first flight, and she turned white for just a moment. She had a habit of saying little silent prayers about the simplest everyday things, and now she whispered. So now she is waiting, desperately she is waiting, and Jim used to be never late, used to be on time. Della, what did she do? She had that fob chain what she had brought for his watch, pocket watch. So she double folded it, she folded it, and she had it in her hand, and she sat on the corner of the table near the door, that is the entrance of her house where usually used to enter the house. Then she heard a step on the stair away down, means from the down, that is he was climbing the upstairs, so she heard his step, means he was coming up. So on the first flight, so at the moment he started coming, she came to know that Jim is coming, and she turned white. The minute she came to know that Jim is there, he is coming up, her face turned white. White means turned pale. She was feeling little bit sad, and she was worried how to explain things, and more than everything she was much worried about her looks, or what will be the reaction of Jim. Now here she turned little bit pale for a minute or a moment. Then she had the habit of telling some prayers. Little means very short prayers about simplest things every day. So usually many of us do. So if anything happens, or if we feel that something bad would happen, or there will be something negative happening, so we keep on telling some prayers. So she also had that habit. So she used to tell short prayers, and she started whispering. So she started telling that prayers because she wanted a happy time or a happy moment with her husband and wanted to give that gift. So she was so much eager, but again she had a question in her mind, what will be the reaction of Jim? Please God, make him think I am still pretty. So what was she whispering or just requesting the God? Please God, make him think I am still pretty. So he should feel, or he should have that I am still pretty. I am looking still pretty. That is what she was going on requesting or praying. The door opened and Jim stepped in and closed it. He looked thin and very serious. Poor fellow, he was only 22, and to be burdened with a family, he needed a new overcoat and he was without gloves. So this is a situation or the state of their life. So the door opened. As soon as Jim came, Della opened the door. So he stepped in and closed it. He closed the door. He looked thin and very serious. So he was very thin and he was serious. So he was a fellow who was of 22 years and he had already married. That is, he had the burden of running a family. Actually, he was in need of an overcoat which we wear on the shirts or the t-shirts. So here he wanted some items related to his regular dressing, that is overcoat and also gloves, but he was not able to buy all these things because maintaining the family with the very reduced salary was very difficult. So this is what is his personality, or we get the picture of their life. Jim stopped inside the door as immovable as a setter at the scent of quail. His eyes were fixed upon Della, and there was an expression in them that she could not read, and it terrified her. So now, after coming inside, he closed the door. Now, he stopped inside. Once he entered, he closed the door, then he stopped. So, as immovable, as if he is not able to move. Now, as a setter, setter means dog trained to remain motionless at the scent of a bird to be hunted. So, how did he appear? As if he is like a setter, that is a dog trained to be immovable, which will get the smell of its that is prey or the bird which it has to hunt. As if he is getting some information, he is confused, so he has stood still there, immovable. So now here they have given the sentence, setter at the scent of a quail. Quail is a small bird. So as if he is a hunting dog and he is getting some clue of his prey and he is suddenly standing there. But here what is the situation? You all know. He is looking at Della. His eyes were fixed upon Della. He is completely confused. So he is standing and he is looking at Della. And there was an expression in them that she could not read, and it terrified her. So she could see some expression on his face, but she could not understand it, and this made her terrified. Terrified means she was also very afraid. She was tensed because what she was praying, she felt that something different is happening. She wanted God to make her look still pretty. That is what she was requesting or praying to the God. But now here Jim is in front of her, but what is he doing? He is just observing her. He is not talking, he is motionless, and he has got so many expressions on his face, but she was not in a position to understand. So you can come to know what is the situation there. It was not anger. You can see the picture here, Della and Jim. So Jim is observing her. It was not anger, nor surprise, nor disapproval, nor horror, nor any of the sentiments that she had been prepared for. He simply stared at her fixedly with that peculiar expression on his face. See, the way he was seeing her, so she was observing him, it was not the way he used to show anger, means he was not angry on her, nor surprise, he was not even showing the expression of surprise, nor disapproval, nor horror, means his expressions were very difficult to understand, nor any of the sentiments. Sentiments is regard, means completely a confused look was there on the face of Jim that she had been prepared for. So there was no even any type of sentiment that she had been prepared for. She was having some expectations from him, but she is not getting answer for anything. He is not even showing anger, or he is not even showing his love towards her. No surprise, no disapproval, so completely blank expression. He simply stared at her fixedly with that peculiar expression on his face. The expression what he had on his face, it was peculiar. Peculiar is strange. So he was just staring. Staring means fixedly seeing someone. So he was seeing at her. Della wriggled off the table and went for him. So suddenly what she did? She wriggled off to make one's way. So she herself made way and she went for him. She went close to him. Jim darling, she cried, don't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off and sold because I couldn't have lived through Christmas without giving you a present. It will grow out again. You won't mind, will you? So this is what her answer, or she wanted to somehow convince Jim. So what did she tell? Jim darling. She cried, means she called him in a little bit higher pitch. That is called as she cried or called. Don't look at me that way. Don't look at me. The way you are looking at me, it is really terrifying me. I am surprised. I am not getting any clue that what you are feeling about my look or about me. I had my hair cut off. I have cut off my hair because there was no other way for me. I couldn't leave without giving any gift for you on this Christmas Eve. That's why I have cut off. It will surely grow. My hair will grow, and I feel that you will never mind. You will never mind about my decision. Will you? Again she wants some answer from him. She wants that concern. So will you feel bad about me? That was her question to Jim. I just had to do it. My hair grows hatefully fast. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let us be happy. You don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I have got for you. So still she's going on convincing. She's telling, just had to do it. I had to do it. I did not have any other way. My hair grows hatefully. Hatefully is extremely fast. So very soon my hair will grow long. So she's telling, wish me or have a very happy Christmas. Merry Christmas, Jim, and let us be happy. Let us be happy. It is the Christmas Eve. Usually on the Christmas Eve, you all know that. So if the Christmas is on December 25th, so the celebration starts before one day, that is 24th night, midnight only it starts. So she is telling, wish me and I also will wish you, that is Merry Christmas, let us be happy. You don't know what a nice and beautiful, nice gift I have brought for you. So I have brought a very wonderful gift. You have cut off your hair. Now he is asking a question. You have cut off your hair? Asked Jim laboriously, as if he had not arrived at that patent fact yet, even after the hardest mental labor. So he is asking, you have cut off it? So he is asked that question laboriously. Laboriously means taking a lot of time. So he is in a confused state. He is not able to decide anything, talk anything. So then he asked this question as if he had not arrived at that patent. Patent means he is still not got that evidence regarding that, whether she has really cut her hair. So he is not got the proper evidence of that fact, yet even after the hardest mental labor, still is not able to believe it. So he has given so much pressure to his mind to decide or to look and understand whether she has really cut the hair. But even then he is in a confused situation. So he is asking this question. Cut it off and sold it, said Della. Don't you like me just as well? Anyhow, I am me without my hair, ain't I? See here, she just goes on giving the answers. Cut it off and sold it. I have cut it off and sold it, said Della. Don't you like me just as well? Anyhow, so without my hair, don't you like me as I am now? I am me without my hair. I have just cut my hair. I have not changed. I am me without my hair. Ain't I? Ain't I means it is a question tag. Ain't I? She is also trying to know what his answer is. The confirmation. So see here, all these sentences. You cut off your hair, cut it off and sold it. Then, don't you like me just as well? Anyhow, I am me without my hair, ain't I? All these sentences which are put in quotes are very important when it comes to the exam point of view. There were many more sentences like this, especially answer to the contest for 3 marks. In Kannada you tell it as Sandarbha Sahitavagi Vivarisi. So that concept is there in your question paper. So concentrate on all such lines. Jim looked about the room curiously. You say your hair is gone, he said with an air almost of idiocy. You needn't look for it, said Della. It's sold. I tell you, sold and gone too. It's Christmas Eve. Boy, be good to me, for it went for you. Maybe the hairs on my head were numbered, she went on with sudden serious sweetness, but nobody could overcount my love for you. Shall I put the chops on, Jim? So here he looked about the room curiously again, because he is not in a position to understand what is happening. Again he is asking, you say your hair is gone. So sure, are you telling that your hair is gone? See, this is also the important sentence. He said with an air almost of idiocy. So here it is utterly senseless. Means he is not able to believe it. So with almost that confusion or feeling that everything is senseless, he again asked this question. You needn't look for it, said Della. You don't try to look for it again and again. It's sold, I tell you, sold and gone too. So she is telling, I sold it, it's sold and it is gone. I have sold it and it is gone. Don't go on asking that. It's Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve means the day before Christmas. So the before, that is on 24th. Be good to me, for it went for you. So she is telling, be happy with me, be good to me. So whatever I have done is, it is for you. Maybe the hairs on my head were numbered. So she is telling, maybe the hairs on my head were numbered. She went on with sudden serious sweetness, but nobody could ever count my love for you. So she is telling, yes, maybe that hair what I had, it has been numbered, means some value was given for that or some money was given for that and it is sold out. But now there is a change in her talk where she was seriously explaining the situation, or there was so much of sweetness or love towards Jim. She went on with sudden serious sweetness, that is with too much of love or concern. She wanted to explain, but nobody could ever count my love for you. See, my hair is sold for some money, but my love towards you, that can be never counted. No one can know that value, or no one can count the value of that love, because with that love and so much of concern, I was ready to sell my hair and bring a beautiful gift for you. Shall I put the chops on, Jim? So she asked him, shall I put the chops on means, shall I serve the chops, because you have come from the office, you will be hungry and you are tired, so we shall have the chops. Out of his trance, Jim seemed quickly to wake. He enfolded his Della. For 10 seconds, let us regard with discreet scrutiny some inconsequential object in the other direction. $8 a week or $1 million a year. What is the difference? A mathematician or a wit would give you the wrong answer. The Magi brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. This dark assertion will be illuminated later on. So now here the writer is giving you the explanation of the situation here. Out of his trance. Trance means was half conscious state, means he was completely disturbed. He was not responding properly. That is called as trance. So out of his trance, Jim seemed quickly to wake. So he came out of that shock, or the way he used to observe Della, he came out of that. He enfolded his Della, enfolded, embrace. So he embraced, he hugged her, he hugged his wife, that is Della, for 10 seconds. Let us regard with discreet scrutiny some inconsequential object in the other direction. So now here there is a discussion there. So for 10 seconds, let us regard with discreet. Discreet is careful, and try to scrutiny means try to know inconsequential, that is an intelligent, inconsequential is insignificant, that is something which has not got much significance or not very important object in other direction, in different way. So what is that? He is thinking about $8 a week or $1 million a year. So that is maybe his income, or whatever income he is getting, that is dealt in that way. $8 a week or $1 million a year. What is the difference? What is the difference when if we get $8 in a week or $1 million in a year? A mathematician or a wit is an intelligent person would give you the wrong answer. You may not get the proper answer if you go on thinking in that way or in a different direction. Now here is the introduction of the Magi. The Magi brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. See, whatever is your income, dollars or million a year, but nothing will reach to the gifts, or nothing is valuable in front of that gifts that the Magi had brought. So in the introduction only you saw, in the beginning of the lesson, Magi, they were the people who gifted the baby Christ, and they were all well known for their way of giving the gifts, or being very caring towards others, and they never thought about money or the fame. See here, this dark assertion will be illuminated later on. So those gifts, what they gave, it had its own value. So you cannot compare to any other things. So this dark assertion means mysterious statement. So this dark assertion will be illuminated later. So later on only we'll come to know what is the value of such things in our life. Jim drew a package from his overcoat pocket and threw it upon the table. Now what happened? Jim drew a package from his pocket and he put it on the table. He also had brought something. So he'll take out and he'll put it on the table. Don't make any mistake, Della, he said, about me. I don't think there is anything in the way of a haircut or a shave or a shampoo that could make me like my girl any less. But if you will unwrap that package, you may see why you had me going a while at first. Very beautifully explained, or the way he is convincing, that is very beautifully put in front of us, or it is penned. Don't make any mistake, don't think any mistake about me, the way I am reacting. He is telling his wife. He said, you don't have any negative thoughts. I don't think there is anything in the way, that is, you have had a haircut, or if you had a shave or any type of shampoo that you are using, nothing will make any difference when it comes to my girl. I don't bother about that. All these things will not make any difference when it comes to my girl. My girl is his wife. But this is also important sentence. But if you will unwrap that package, you may see why you had me going a while at first. You will come to know if you unwrap that thing what I have put on the table. Unwrap means to open it. If you unwrap it, you will come to know why I was in that situation. Why was I trance? Why I did not have any expressions. White fingers and nimble tore at the string and paper, and then an ecstatic scream of joy, and then, alas, a quick feminine change to hysterical tears and wails, necessitating the immediate employment of all the comforting powers of the Lord of the flat. So now, after listening to him, now she is confused. So again, her fingers became numb, means white fingers, that is, she was also disturbed now, and slowly she nimble tore. Nimble is agile, means slowly, with the great affection or with the great care, slowly she opened it, and she took that string and the paper, that is, unwrapped that packet, and then a ecstatic scream of joy. Ecstatic is very excited. She was completely excited and she screamed there, and again, alas, means there was sudden change. Alas is a expression, or you call this as interjection, means it's a parts of speech which is called as interjection, that gives you sudden expression. So with that expression, suddenly there was a change in her mood. What is that? A feminine change to hysterical tears. So usually when it comes to weeping or crying, when you have tears in your eyes, it is called as feminine change, means usually females are related. Usually females cry a lot. So that's why this expression is given, a quick feminine change to hysterical tears, that is uncontrollable. Hysterical is uncontrollable. She could not control by seeing what was there. First she was excited, so she was very happy. Suddenly the mood changed. She had tears and it was too much, and wails, means she really had some pain within her. She experienced that pain by seeing the gift, necessitating the immediate employment of all the comforting powers of the Lord of the flat. See this line, how well written. So in that situation, there was a necessary of what? Immediately a person comforting her. Somebody should comfort her. Who is that person? The person is the Lord of the flat, that is her husband, that is Jim. So first she was excited, then she started weeping, then later on she was in a situation wherein she wanted her husband to comfort her, to somehow console her, because she is confused now. She was happy by seeing the gift. Now after that, what happened? She felt that gift was very precious, and then she had so much of tears. We'll come to know the reason why she had so much of tears. For there lay the combs, the set of combs, side and back, that Della had worshipped for long in a Broadway window. Beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell with jeweled rims, just the shade to wear in the beautiful vanished air. They were expensive combs, she knew, and her heart had simply craved and yearned over them without the least hope of possession. And now they were hers, but the tresses that should have adorned the coveted endowments were gone. Endowments were gone. So you come to know the reason. She was happy, she was excited, but she had tears. The reason is here. So what was the gift that was brought by Jim? It was the set of combs. So he had brought the combs that were really needed by Della, or she used to worship for that, and she used to long for that. Long means she had too much of longing towards that. She wanted to have it. So she wanted to buy it. She used to worship for that, means every time she wished that she wanted it. She had so much of wish to possess it, and she was waiting for that, and every time she used to think about that in a Broadway window, means she used to see the selling of those combs in the shops, and she used to always yearn for that. Yearn means wish to have it since long time. So she used to see that combs and always wanted to buy it, and she used to just walk off from there. Beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell with jeweled rims. So they were beautiful combs. They were made out of tortoise shell and with jeweled rims, means there were many designs. The border of those combs or the comb was completely jeweled, means it had many stones or designs made out of stones or carving. Just the shade to wear in the beautiful vanished hair. So it was so beautiful, or it was a proper one to wear on her beautiful long hair. They were expensive combs. Actually, they were very expensive. That's why she used to never, she yearned for that, she wished for that, but she never tried to buy it. She knew, and her heart had simply craved and yearned over them without the least hope of possession. So she knew that it was very expensive, and that's why her heart always craved for that. Craved means you have a craving, you want to have it, but, and she also yearned. Yearned is strong desire. So she had a strong desire to have it, but why did she keep quiet? Or she had very least hope of possessing it. She never had a great hope of having it, because she knew that it was costly. See the way that understanding they had between themselves. And now what is the situation? They were hers. Already Jim had brought for her, but the tresses is the hair that should have adorned the coveted endowments were gone. Coveted endowments were gone. The comb is there, but the hair with which she could comb, that is not there. Coveted means craved for, endowment means something decorative. So actually the hair is gone on which that coveted means the designed comb, or the designed or very decorative comb had to comb that hair, that is there, but the hair is not there. But she hugged them to her bosom, and at length she was able to look up with dim eyes and a smile and say, "My hair grows so fast, Jim." So now she'll take that, she'll hug it, she'll hold it very tightly to her chest. Bosom is chest, so she'll keep it very close to her chest and she hugs it. Now slowly she's trying to look up, means look towards Jim with her dim eyes, means she had wept so much and she had a smile, and she tells Jim, "My hair grows so fast, Jim." So she's trying to again convince him or console him. This is also the important sentence. And then Della leaped up like a little singed cat and cried, "Oh ho!" So now what happened? She felt very sad again, or she is trying to convince him. So Della leaped up, means suddenly she got up like a singed cat. Singed is burnt silently, means she had that pain within her because she has sold her hair. He has brought that comb that she loved a lot, yearned for that, and she is not able to have that or use it. So that's why she got up like a little singed cat and cried, "Oh, oh." Jim had not yet seen his beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. The dull, precious metal seemed to flash with the reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. Now what she did is, she got up suddenly and she said, "Oh, oh," and actually Jim had not seen the beautiful gift what she had brought. That's why she just held her hand out and she will show him what she has brought, and that was on her palm. Now that metal, which was a little bit precious, but it is, the metal seemed to, the dull precious means the metal is very precious, but it has got a little bit of dull look, that flash with the reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. So even though the metal is very precious, it was little bit dull, but what happened? It had its flash, or it looked bright with the reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. Means she was so happy to give that gift, that bright and ardent. Ardent is zealous or keen. So it was, she was very keen in giving that gift. So because of that spirit, that metal looked very bright. So see, this is a situation where she is gifting Jim her gift. "Isn't it a dandy, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it. You will have to look at the time 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on it." So now she's telling, she's showing that, and she's asking, "Isn't it dandy?" Dandy means too splendid, means very beautiful to look or very attractive. She's asking a question and she's telling, "I hunted all over," means I went through all the streets to get it for you. You will have a look at the time 100 times a day. Every time you have to look at your watch to know the time. So that's why she'll tell, "Give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on it. Give me your pocket watch. I want to know how it looks on it." Again, a situation which really makes us know their relationship, which was always a true love towards each other. Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch and put his hands under the back of his head and smiled. So instead of giving that watch, what did Jim do? He tumbled down. Tumble means suddenly he pushed himself on that couch, that is the sofa, and he put his hands under the back of his head. So he kept his both hands under the back of his head and he had a smile on his face. So he did not give the watch, but he reacted like this. "Dell," he said, "let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them a while. They are too nice to use just at present. I sold the watch to get the money to buy your combs, and now suppose you put the chops on." See what is the situation there? Why did he sit on that couch? So he tells, "Dell," said he, "let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them a while." So let us keep our presents, what we have brought for each other, away, and we'll keep it away for a while. So why is he telling like that? See, there is a reason. They are too nice to use just at present. So they are too nice to use as present. So what is the reason? I sold the watch to get the money to buy your combs. So he has also sold his important possession, that is his pocket watch, which was given to him by his father, and his father had got it from his father, that is the forefather of Jim. So that watch is not with him because he has sold it to bring a gift to Della. So he's telling, I think now you have to put on the chops, means give me something to eat. The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men who brought gifts to the babe in the manger. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. Being wise, their gifts were no doubt wise ones, possibly bearing the privilege of exchange in case of duplication. So here you come to know why there is a metaphorical usage or the comparison of Jim and Della to the Magi, because the Magi, they were also very wise, and they were wise men, wonderfully wise men who had brought the gifts to the babe in the manger. Means the babe in the manger. Here babe is the infant Jesus. Manger means an open box from which cattle and horses feed. So the baby Jesus was kept in that box as soon as he was born. So they had brought a gift for him. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. So they were the one who invented the art of giving the gifts during the time of Christmas. Being wise, their gifts were no doubt wise ones. So they were wise, and that's why whatever gift they brought was wise one, possibly bearing the privilege of exchange in case of duplication. So usually there was exchange of gifts, and also sometimes they used to get the same type of presents. So now here you can see, and here I have lamely related to you the uneventful chronicle of two foolish children in a flat who most unwisely sacrificed for each other the greatest treasures of their house. So the writer is telling you about the Magi, the people who gave gift to Jesus Christ, and because of them they started this procedure or wherein the people are exchanging gifts during the time of Christmas. So here he is telling, so thus I have brought these two children, he is telling Jim and Della as children, how they were very loyal to each other or wise when it came to giving gifts to each other. See here, and here I have lamely is unsatisfactorily related to you the uneventful chronicle is story. So here I am giving you a story, or I am keeping a story in front of you of two foolish children. So he is referring Jim and Della in a flat who most unwisely sacrificed for each other the greatest treasures of their house. So they never minded. So they did not have any problem. So they dedicated or they sacrificed for each other the greatest treasure of their house. But in last word to the wise of these days, let it be said that of all who give gifts, these two were the wisest. So he is telling first, he is telling that those two people the most unwisely, so they are foolish children, he is referring them as foolish children. Then he is telling in a flat means they lived there, who most unwisely, they did not take proper decision, they were unwisely, they sacrificed for each other what they had as the greatest treasure of their house. After telling that, you can see this sentence, but in the last word to the wise of these days. So I want to tell few things to the wise of these days, means the people who feel that they are wise or who are really wise. Let it be said that of all who give gifts, among all those who give gifts, these two were the wisest. So if there are so many wise people, or there are so many people who think that they are wise, so among all those people who give gifts, let these two be referred as the wisest. Let these two people be the wisest. Means no people can be wiser than these two people, because they never thought of their very important possessions. They just sacrificed it and gifted each other. Of all who give and receive gifts, such as they are wisest. Everywhere they are wisest, they are the Magi. So here he is telling, among all those people who give and receive gifts, such as they are wisest. Yes, when you are ready to help each other, you are called as wisest. Everywhere they are wisest. Yes, they are called as wisest. They are the Magi, because here both were ready to sacrifice for each other. They wanted each one to be happy, or they wanted to really give a beautiful gift to each other, and that's why they are called as the wisest, and they are the Magi. So he is directly calling Jim and Della as the Magi. That's why it is called as a metaphorical usage. Directly comparing anything with the other aspects around you, it is called as the metaphorical usage. So that's why the figure of speech used here is metaphor. So Del and Jim are metaphorically called as the Magi. So here I think this few sentences are really very lengthy and you may feel it a little bit difficult, but what you have to do is you have to keep reading, but you have got a very important message here, a beautiful message that is needed in our present life. So we see many people, they look very wise, but they'll be not as wise as they look. Or when it comes to the family members, the attachment what we show, it should be really wisest, because we love each other, and when we are wise to each other, I think we can have a very beautiful life. This is what is a message given to us by the writer of this beautiful short story. Read it again and again and see the dialogues, the way it has been jotted down or written. You understand a lot about the writing of this language, that is the English language. Read it again and again, underline the important sentences and go through the videos again and again to understand the lesson. Thank you.